Imagine finding a 2013 Lincoln penny in your pocket, seeing no mint mark under Lincoln's date, and wondering if you just found a coin worth $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But before you toss that penny into a jar, there are a few details you need to know, because one tiny difference can completely change a coin's value. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2013 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. You'll learn what that missing mark actually means, which mistakes collectors look for, what can make an ordinary 2013 penny more interesting, and, most importantly, whether this coin can really be worth anything close to $1 million. And stay with me, because the biggest surprise is not what most online videos claim. Here's the first mystery. You look at the front of a 2013 penny. You see Abraham Lincoln. You see the date, 2013. And directly below the date, there is no letter, no P, no D, nothing. That can look suspicious. Maybe the mint forgot the mark. Maybe it is a rare error. Or maybe you are holding a Philadelphia minted coin exactly as it was supposed to be. And that possibility is extremely important. For modern Lincoln cents, Philadelphia coins often carry no mint mark. So a 2013 penny without a mint mark is not automatically an error. In fact, the absence of a mint mark is normally part of the design and production history for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That means if you find a 2013 penny with no mint mark, don't celebrate yet. But don't throw it away either, because this is where the story gets interesting. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, and it has become one of America's most collected coins. By 2013, the penny had the Union Shield reverse. That shield represents the United States and carries the words 1 cent and United States of America. It is a modern design, but that does not mean every 2013 cent is identical. Sometimes a blank planchet is struck incorrectly. Sometimes a die becomes damaged. Sometimes a coin is struck off-center. Sometimes metal flows into a strange shape. And occasionally, a dramatic minting error escapes inspection and reaches the public. If your 2013 no mint mark penny looks perfectly normal, its lack of a mint mark is not enough to make it rare. But if your coin has something unusual beyond that, you may have a reason to investigate further. Look at the date first. Is it clearly 2013? Are the numbers sharp? Is there any doubling around the date or lettering? Don't use your eyes from 3 feet away. Get a good light and inspect the coin carefully. Next, examine Lincoln's portrait. Look around the lettering, especially Liberty and I in God We Trust. Real double dies can show unusual separation or a secondary image in specific areas. But be careful, because machine doubling, scratches, and damage can fool beginners. A genuine variety or error needs to be identified by its characteristics, not simply because something looks strange. Now turn the coin over. The reverse is where you should slow down. Check the Union Shield. Look at the lettering. Look at the rim. Look at the edge. Does the coin appear normal, or is something obviously wrong? Maybe the strike is dramatically off-center. Maybe part of the design is missing. Maybe the coin has an unusual broad strike. Maybe there is a major die crack. Maybe the edge has a strange shape that cannot be explained by ordinary circulation damage. Those details matter much more than the simple fact that there is no mint mark. Can a normal 2013 Philadelphia Lincoln cent with no mint mark be worth $1 million? The honest answer is no. There is no credible basis for calling an ordinary 2013 no mint mark penny a $1 million coin simply because it lacks a mint mark. If someone tells you that every 2013 penny without a mint mark is worth a fortune, be extremely careful. That is where viral coin videos can create confusion. A dramatic title can make an ordinary coin sound like a secret treasure. But collecting is about evidence. Real value comes from rarity, condition, demand, and verified sales or professional attribution. That is the difference between a fun internet rumor and real numismatic evidence. A valuable coin needs a reason, and that reason should survive careful examination too. So why do people talk about $1 million pennies? Because some US cents really have sold for extraordinary amounts. Historic rarities, famous mint errors, and unique specimens can bring prices that seem unbelievable. But those coins are valuable because they have specific characteristics and documented histories. A modern 2013 cent is a completely different situation. Condition. A 2013 penny that spent years circulating through cash registers, pockets, parking lots, and vending machines will usually show scratches, marks, discoloration, and wear. But a coin preserved in exceptional condition can attract collectors who want high-grade examples. People polish their coins because they think shiny means valuable. Doesn't. Polishing can damage the original surface and actually make a collectible coin less desirable. If you think you have something unusual, leave the coin alone. Don't scrub it. Don't scratch it. Don't use chemicals. And definitely don't try to create your own mint error. Just preserve it as you found it. Now let's imagine you have a 2013 no-mint mark penny that looks unusually sharp. The fields are clean. Lincoln's details are strong. The lettering is crisp. The reverse looks nearly untouched. Could that be worth more than 1 cent? Potentially, yes, depending on condition and collector demand. But we're talking about a completely different level from $1 million. And that distinction is important. A coin can be collectible without being a millionaire maker. That's actually good news, because it means you can search your coins without believing every unusual penny is a jackpot. Here's a quick test you can do at home. Take your 2013 penny and compare it with another ordinary 2013 cent, place them side by side. Look at the date, lettering, portrait, shield, rim, and edge. Do you see a genuine difference? If yes, take clear photos. Then compare your coin with reputable references or have it examined by an experienced numismatist. If the potential error is significant, professional grading and authentication can become important. And remember this rule. Never pay a large fee to someone who promises a huge value before even properly examining the coin. Now, there's one more fascinating possibility. What if your coin has no mint mark because it came from Philadelphia, but something else happened during production? That's when the investigation changes. A wrong planchet, major off-center strike, dramatic die error, or other authenticated minting mistake could make a modern penny far more interesting than its face value. But the error must be real. A scratch made after the coin left the mint is not a mint error. A dent from a machine is not automatically an error. A flattened edge from abuse is not a rare variety. This is why expert authentication matters. The missing mint mark is the beginning of the investigation, not the conclusion. That tiny blank space under the date tells you where the coin was made. It does not, by itself, tell you that the coin is rare. And now you know the secret that many viral videos leave out. If you have a 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you probably have a normal Philadelphia cent. Its value is generally close to face value unless it has exceptional condition, a recognized variety, or a genuine mint error. So where does the $1 million claim come from? Usually, it comes from mixing together famous valuable pennies with ordinary modern cents, or from exaggerating the potential value of an unverified error. Don't let a headline make the decision for you. Let the coin speak. Check the date. Check the surfaces. Check the strike. Check the edge. And check for documented varieties or errors. If you happen to discover something truly unusual, that's when you may have a story worth telling. And here's my challenge for you. Go find your 2013 pennies. Don't just check the no mint mark ones. Look at all of them. Compare the details. Search your old jars, drawers, desk trays, and coin collections. You might not find a $1 million penny, but you could find a coin with an interesting error, an exceptional grade, or a story that makes it worth keeping. And that's what makes coin collecting so addictive. The next incredible discovery could be sitting in plain sight. So, before you spend that little copper-colored coin, take a closer look, because sometimes the smallest clues lead to the biggest mysteries. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden stories and real values behind America's coins, subscribe and stay with us. There are millions of pennies out there, and somewhere among them are coins with mistakes, varieties, and histories that collectors still chase today. And your next discovery could already be sitting in your pocket. Imagine finding a 2014 D Lincoln penny in your pocket and discovering that one tiny detail could separate an ordinary 1-cent coin from a collector's dream. Sounds impossible, right? Well, before you toss another 2014 penny into a jar, look closely, because the real mystery is not the date. It is what happened to that particular coin before it reached your hands. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2014 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark, a coin that most people would spend without a second thought. But hidden among millions of ordinary examples are coins with unusual errors, striking problems, and condition so impressive that collectors may pay dramatically more than face value. And there is one mistake beginners make that could cause them to miss the most interesting examples. First, let's get the basics out of the way. The 2014 D Lincoln Cent was struck at the Denver Mint and carries a small D beneath the date. It features Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Union Shield design on the reverse. Most examples are common, heavily circulated, and worth close to 1 cent. But here is where things get interesting. Coins are made in enormous quantities at speed. That means the minting process has countless opportunities for something unusual to happen. A die can become damaged. A coin can shift during striking. A piece of metal can enter the process incorrectly. A die can wear in a strange way. And sometimes, a coin can leave the mint with an error that collectors notice years later. That is why you should never judge a coin only by its date. Take a normal 2014 D penny. The lettering should be properly formed. Lincoln's portrait should look sharp for the coin's grade. The date should be clear. The reverse should show the Union Shield with normal details. Nothing spectacular. Now imagine opening an old jar of pennies and seeing one that looks slightly different. That is when you stop. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. And definitely do not spend it. One of the biggest mistakes coin hunters make is cleaning a coin because they think shiny means valuable. In reality, aggressive cleaning can damage the original surface and reduce collector appeal. A coin that looks dirty may be far more interesting than one that has been scrubbed until it shines. And there is another trap. People often see a strange-looking penny online and immediately assume it is a rare mint error. But not every unusual mark is an error. Scratches, dents, machine damage, chemical discoloration, and ordinary wear can create appearances that look exciting but have little collector value. So what should you look for? Start with the mint mark. On a 2014 D Lincoln Cent, the D tells you it was struck in Denver. Then compare the coin with a normal example. Look carefully at the date, lettering, Lincoln's portrait, the rim, and the reverse. You are looking for something that appears to have happened during manufacturing, not something that happened after the coin entered circulation. Here is a quick test. Ask yourself, does the unusual feature look like part of the strike? Or does it look like damage? That simple question can save you from chasing hundreds of worthless oddities. Now let's talk about the condition. A 2014 D penny is a modern coin, so circulated examples are generally common. But a sharply preserved example can be more interesting to collectors, especially when it has strong original surfaces, excellent detail, and very few marks. Coins are graded on condition, and small differences can matter. Think about two identical pennies. One has been carried in pockets for years, scratched, stained, and worn. The other looks nearly untouched, with crisp details and attractive surfaces. They may have the same date and mint mark, but collectors can view them very differently. And this is where the $1 million claim needs a reality check. A normal 2014 D penny is not a $1 million coin. There is no reason to believe an ordinary example is secretly worth $1 million simply because it carries a D mint mark. Viral videos often turn rare coin possibilities into guaranteed fortunes, but real numismatics is more complicated. However, the idea of a spectacularly valuable modern cent is not completely imaginary. The value of an exceptional coin can rise when several factors come together. Genuine mint error, extreme rarity, remarkable condition, strong collector demand, and trustworthy authentication. The most important word here is genuine. A dramatic-looking penny is not automatically a fortune. And that brings us to the detail that could make your search much more exciting. Look for genuine doubled features. On a true double die coin, parts of the design can show a distinct secondary image because of the way the die itself was created. That is very different from a coin being struck slightly off-center or from a blurry appearance caused by wear or damage. Check the date. Check the letters. Check the inscriptions. Then compare what you see with verified references or have the coin examined by a qualified professional if something unusual appears. Do not rely on a random online post claiming, "This penny is worth $1 million." That is not authentication. It is marketing. And here is another pattern interrupt. Sometimes the most valuable looking feature is the one that actually proves the coin is ordinary. A giant scratch across Lincoln's face may look dramatic, but if it happened after the coin left the mint, it usually does not create the kind of premium collectors pay for a true mint error. The same goes for discoloration. A copper-colored or unusually dark patch can be caused by environmental exposure, chemicals, heat, or storage conditions. Interesting, maybe. Rare? Not necessarily. Now, imagine you find a 2014 D penny that passes the first inspection. The date is correct. The D is present. The surfaces are unusually strong. The details look crisp. And then you notice a feature that does not appear on normal examples. Your heart starts beating faster. This is the moment where you should slow down, not speed up. Take clear photographs. Do not clean the coin. Keep it protected. Compare it with trusted numismatic references. And if the feature appears to be a legitimate mint-made error, consider professional authentication and grading. That step can make a huge difference because collectors want confidence. A certified coin has a documented identity, condition, and grade. When money is involved, documentation matters. So how much could your 2014 D penny actually be worth? For an ordinary circulated example, usually only face value. For a nicer uncirculated coin, the value can be higher, depending on grade and market demand. For a genuine, rare mint error in exceptional condition, the value can become significantly more interesting. But there is no automatic $1 million price tag. If you ever see a claimed 7-figure valuation, ask a simple question. Where is the evidence? Those questions separate real coin collecting from internet hype. And that is the biggest secret behind the 2014 D Lincoln penny. The treasure is not guaranteed. The treasure is the possibility. Millions of people have handled modern pennies without ever examining them closely. Most will be ordinary. A few may contain unusual characteristics worth investigating. And because the coin is familiar, people often overlook it completely. That is exactly why checking your change can be fun. So, before you put your next handful of pennies into a jar, pull out the 2014 D examples and examine them carefully. Look at the date. Look at the D. Look at the lettering. Look at the rim. Look at the reverse. Look for genuine mint-made abnormalities, not random damage. And remember, never clean a potentially valuable coin. If you discover something unusual, preserve it exactly as you found it and get a second opinion from a reputable coin dealer, numismatist, or professional grading service. Now I want to know something. Have you ever found a 2014 D penny that looked different from the others? Maybe you noticed doubling, an unusual strike, strange lettering, or a coin that simply looked too perfect to spend. If you have one sitting in a drawer right now, this might be the perfect time to take another look. Because sometimes the coin that looks ordinary at first glance is the one that makes you stop and ask, wait, what is this? And even if your 2014 D penny turns out to be worth only 1 cent, you have learned something valuable. How to recognize the difference between a normal coin, post-mint damage, and a genuine collectible error. That knowledge can help you with the next coin too. Maybe the next penny is a 2015. Maybe it is a 2017. Maybe it is an old wheat cent hiding underneath a pile of modern change. The point is simple. Do not let a tiny coin fool you into thinking it has nothing to say. The 2014 D Lincoln penny may not be the guaranteed $1 million treasure that viral headlines suggest. But the right error, the right condition, and the right evidence can turn an ordinary-looking cent into something collectors genuinely want. So check your change. Check your jars. Check those old rolls. And most importantly, check before you spend. Because one tiny detail can change the entire story of a coin. If you enjoy uncovering hidden value in ordinary American coins, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, surprising auction stories, and simple tips that can help you spot the coins most people overlook. Your next valuable find could be sitting in plain sight. What if a 1-cent coin sitting in your drawer right now has a story that could surprise you? Before you spend that 2015 Lincoln penny, look at it closely, because one tiny detail can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's conversation piece. And there is one rumor about these pennies that has sent people searching through jars, rolls, and pocket change everywhere. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2015 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. You'll learn what that missing letter actually means, what features collectors examine, which mistakes can make a modern penny interesting, and most importantly, whether this coin is really capable of making you a millionaire. The answer may surprise you, because the biggest mistake is assuming that every unusual-looking penny is automatically rare. Picture this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, and beneath a handful of receipts, you find a shiny copper-colored penny. The date says 2015. Under the date, there is no D, no S, no P, nothing. You flip it over, and suddenly you start wondering, did the United States Mint accidentally forget the mint mark? Here's where the mystery begins. For modern Lincoln cents, a missing mint mark does not automatically mean an error. In fact, the 2015 Lincoln cents made at the Philadelphia Mint were intentionally produced without a mint mark. That means a normal 2015 penny with no mint mark can be completely genuine, completely ordinary, and still worth only a small amount above or around face value depending on condition and collector demand. Wait, don't put it back in the jar yet. There is still a reason collectors inspect these coins carefully. The first thing to understand is the mint mark itself. On many US coins, a small letter identifies where the coin was produced. A D indicates Denver, while an S can indicate San Francisco on coins intended for circulation or special collector issues. Philadelphia traditionally used no mint mark on circulating coins. So when you see a 2015 Lincoln cent without a letter beneath the date, that alone is not evidence of $1 million mistake. But what if your coin looks different? That is where things get interesting. Collectors search modern pennies for genuine mint errors and varieties. A coin can become more desirable when something unusual happened during striking, such as a major off-center strike, a dramatic double design, a broad strike, a clipped planchet, or another authenticated minting error. These are not simply scratches, stains, or damage caused after the coin left the mint. The difference matters enormously. Think about the journey of a penny. A blank metal planchet is prepared. It moves through the minting process. Dies strike the design with tremendous pressure. The finished coin is inspected, counted, transported, and eventually released into circulation. At any stage, something can go wrong. Most mistakes are caught. A few escape. And those few are exactly what collectors want to investigate. Now look at your 2015 penny. Start with Lincoln's portrait. Are the letters around the edge unusually doubled? Does the date show genuine doubling? Or does it simply look blurry because of wear? Is the rim complete? Does the coin appear dramatically off-center? Are there unusual shapes or missing areas that seem to have happened during striking rather than from damage? Here's a quick warning that could save you from a costly mistake. Do not confuse damage with a mint error. A coin that was scratched with a tool, squeezed in a machine, exposed to chemicals, heated, polished, or damaged in circulation can look bizarre. Bizarre does not always mean valuable. In fact, many strange-looking pennies have little collector value because the unusual appearance happened after the coin was made. This is where many people get confused. A true mint error should make sense as part of the manufacturing process. For example, an off-center strike occurs when the planchet is not positioned correctly between the dies. The result can be dramatic. Part of the design may be missing, while a blank crescent of metal remains visible. The farther off-center the strike, and the stronger the evidence that it happened at the mint, the more interesting the coin can become. But there's another secret. Condition matters. Imagine two identical 2015 pennies. One is heavily scratched, dark, worn, and dirty. The other has sharp details, bright surfaces, and almost no signs of circulation. Even if both are common, the better preserved coin can attract more attention from collectors. Professional grading can also separate an ordinary-looking coin from an exceptional example. And this brings us to the million-dollar question. Is a normal 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark worth $1 million? No. There is no credible basis for claiming that an ordinary 2015 Philadelphia Lincoln cent is $1 million coin simply because it has no mint mark. If you see a video or social media post making that claim without showing a documented auction record or explaining a specific, authenticated error, be careful. But don't let that disappoint you. The real treasure hunt is learning how to recognize what is actually unusual. $1 million headline can get clicks. A real error can get a collector's attention. Those are two very different things. And here's something else people often overlook. Value is not determined by a coin's date alone. It depends on rarity, condition, demand, authenticity, and sometimes the exact error or variety. Auction records are especially important because they show what collectors have actually paid, rather than what someone hopes a coin is worth. So, what should you do if your 2015 no mint mark penny looks unusual? First, don't clean it. This is extremely important. Cleaning can leave scratches or remove the original surface, potentially reducing collector appeal. Even if the coin is dirty, resist the temptation to make it shine. Handle it by the edges, place it somewhere safe, and compare it with other 2015 cents. Next, use good lighting and magnification. Look carefully at the date, lettering, portrait, rim, and reverse design. Take clear photographs from multiple angles. If you believe you have a genuine mint error, consider having it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service before assuming it is rare. And remember, the absence of a mint mark is not the mystery by itself. The mystery is whether something else happened. Maybe the coin has dramatic doubling. Maybe it was struck far off center. Maybe the planchet is unusual. Maybe there is a legitimate minting characteristic that deserves closer examination. Or maybe, after all that searching, it turns out to be a perfectly normal Philadelphia cent. Either result teaches you something valuable. Now imagine finding a truly dramatic error in your pocket change. You notice it before anyone else does. You separate it from your ordinary coins. You research it. You get an expert opinion. Suddenly, a coin that most people would spend without thinking becomes something worth investigating. That is the excitement behind coin collecting. It isn't about believing every millionaire story on the internet. It's about knowing enough to spot the real opportunities. So grab your change jar. Search for 2015 Lincoln cents. Check beneath the date. If there is no mint mark, remember that Philadelphia cents normally have no mint mark. Then inspect the coin for genuine errors instead of assuming the missing letter makes it rare. And here's my question for you. Have you ever found a 2015 penny that looked completely different from the others? Maybe the date appeared doubled. Maybe the coin was dramatically off-center. Maybe the edge looked strange. Tell me what you found, because one small detail can completely change the investigation. Most importantly, keep your expectations realistic. A regular 2015 no mint mark penny is not a secret $1 million coin. But a properly authenticated major mint error can be far more interesting than an ordinary cent. And that is why experienced collectors never judge a coin from the date alone. The next time someone tells you that a certain penny is worth a fortune, don't just believe the headline. Ask the better question. What exactly makes this coin rare? That single question can separate a real discovery from an internet rumor. So before you spend that little Lincoln cent, take another look. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Check the design. Check the strike. And if something seems genuinely unusual, investigate before you toss it back into circulation. Because sometimes, the most interesting part of a rare coin isn't the number attached to it. It's the mystery of how it got that way. Because in coin collecting, knowledge is what turns a random piece of pocket change into a discovery worth remembering, researching, and sometimes proudly sharing with fellow collectors, with other collectors today. And if you enjoy uncovering the hidden stories, surprising errors, and valuable possibilities hiding in everyday American change, subscribe for more. Keep checking those coins, keep learning what matters, and who knows, the next unusual penny you find might be the one that makes you stop and look twice. What if the ordinary 2016 D Lincoln penny sitting in your drawer right now is hiding a mistake that collectors would fight to own? Before you spend another penny, stop. Because one tiny detail on this coin can completely change the story, and the biggest surprise is not where most people expect it. Today, we are taking a close look at the 2016 Lincoln 1-cent coin with the Denver Mint mark, the little D beneath the date. At first glance, it looks like one of the most common coins in America. But coins can be deceptive. A normal example may be worth only face value, while a dramatically unusual error or exceptionally preserved specimen can attract serious collector attention. And there is one mistake people make with coins like this that can cause them to miss what they have. So grab your 2016 D pennies, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for, what is normal, what is unusual, and why the phrase $1 million penny needs a very important reality check. The 2016 D Lincoln cent was produced at the Denver Mint as part of the familiar Lincoln cent series. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse carries the Union Shield design introduced in 2010. That shield, the lettering, the date, and the tiny mint mark give collectors several areas to inspect. Now here is where the mystery begins. The D does not automatically make this penny rare. In fact, millions of Lincoln cents have been struck at Denver. So if your coin has a D, that alone does not mean you have a fortune. This is where many people get confused. A mint mark can identify where a coin was made, but rarity depends on much more than a single letter. And that brings us to the first thing you should check: condition. Take your 2016 D penny and look at Lincoln's cheek, jaw, hair, and the open fields around his portrait. Are the surfaces bright and sharply defined? Are there scratches, spots, stains, dents, or signs of circulation? A coin that has spent years bouncing around inside pockets, cash registers, and coin jars will usually show wear. But a coin that looks almost untouched can be much more interesting to collectors. Wait though, there is a trap here. A shiny penny is not automatically a valuable penny. Someone can clean a coin and make it look bright, but cleaning can damage the original surface and reduce collector appeal. If your 2016 D cent looks unusually polished, do not assume somebody discovered a fortune. Never scrub it just to make it look better. Now look closely at the date, 2016. Check each digit. Does anything look doubled? Does a digit appear strangely shaped? Is there unusual spacing? Does the surface around the numbers look distorted? Then move your attention to the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." This is where your eyes need to slow down. Some collectors search for doubling, die cracks, struck through areas, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, missing details, unusual lettering, or other genuine mint errors. But there is a huge difference between a real mint error and damage that happened after the coin left the mint. For example, if the edge looks smashed because the penny was squeezed in a machine, that does not automatically make it a rare mint error. If the lettering is scratched, that is damage. If the surface has been scraped, that is damage too. The exciting part is that genuine mint errors can be valuable because they are created during the manufacturing process, not because somebody damaged the coin afterward. And now we reach the question everyone wants answered. Could a 2016 D penny really be worth $1 million? Here is the honest answer. A normal 2016 D Lincoln cent is not a $1 million coin. There is no reason to believe that an ordinary example with a D mint mark is secretly worth $1 million simply because of its date. So why do people hear stories about $1 million pennies? Because the world of coin collecting has produced extraordinary prices for extraordinary coins. Historic rarities, major mint errors, famous varieties, and unique specimens can sometimes sell for astonishing amounts. But those prices are connected to specific characteristics: rarity, condition, provenance, and collector demand. A common coin does not become a $1 million coin just because someone puts $1 million in a video title. That said, do not click away yet, because this is where your 2016 D penny can become interesting. Suppose you find something genuinely unusual. Maybe the strike is dramatically off-center. Maybe part of the design is missing because of a production error. Maybe there is a legitimate and documented variety that specialists recognize. Suddenly, you are no longer looking at an ordinary penny. The key word is legitimate. Before getting excited, compare the coin with reliable references, and if the difference looks significant, consider having it examined by a reputable numismatist or professional grading service. Authentication matters because valuable coins attract altered examples, damaged coins, and exaggerated claims. And there is another detail that can surprise beginners. Condition is everything. A common 2016 D cent in everyday circulated condition may be worth around 1 cent. A high-grade example can be more interesting, especially if it has exceptional red color, strong surfaces, and excellent preservation. But even a beautiful coin should not be automatically described as a jackpot. Now imagine opening an old jar of coins and finding a 2016 D penny that looks almost perfect. You turn it over. The shield is sharp. The lettering is crisp. The fields are clean. The copper red color is vivid. Then you notice something strange near the date. That is the moment you stop spending the coin. Not because you know it is worth $1 million, but because you have found a reason to investigate. Coin collecting is not about believing every unbelievable price. It is about knowing what evidence would make a coin unusual. So what should you do if you think your 2016 D penny has something special? First, do not clean it. Second, Take clear photographs of both sides and the edge. Third, use a magnifying glass or a loupe to inspect the date, lettering, mint mark, rim, and major design elements. Fourth, compare what you see with trusted numismatic references. And fifth, if the coin appears genuinely unusual, get a professional opinion before selling it. Do not rush to an online buyer just because somebody tells you the coin is rare. And do not pay hundreds of dollars for a mysterious certificate from someone who promises instant millionaire status. The value of a coin is created by facts, not excitement. That might sound less thrilling than the million-dollar headline, but it can actually save you money and help you discover real treasures. Because the rarest coins are not valuable simply because they are old. Some are valuable because they were made incorrectly. Others are valuable because very few survived in exceptional condition. And some become famous because collectors have spent decades searching for them. Your 2016 D penny is a perfect example of why you should inspect before you dismiss. Some may be better preserved. A tiny number may have unusual characteristics worth investigating. And if you ever discover a major, authenticated mint error or extraordinary variety, that is when the conversation changes. But remember, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. So before you toss that 2016 D penny into a jar, take one more look. Check the date. Check Lincoln's portrait. Check the shield. Check the lettering. Check the rim. Check the edge. And most importantly, look for something that appears to have happened at the mint rather than something that happened after the coin was released. Now I want you to think about your own collection. How many 2016 D pennies are sitting in your house right now? 1, 5, 20? Maybe an entire container filled with cents you have never inspected. Go find them. Put them under good light. And if one looks different from the others, do not ignore it. Because the real secret of coin collecting is not that every penny is a hidden fortune. The secret is that you never know which unusual detail might be worth investigating until you actually look. And that is why the next time somebody tells you a 2016 D penny is automatically worth $1 million, ask one simple question. What specific error, variety, condition, or documented sale proves it? If they cannot answer, keep your penny and keep searching. The dream of finding a life-changing coin is exciting, but the knowledge that helps you recognize a genuinely valuable coin is even more powerful. So check your change, search those old jars, and take a second look before spending your pennies. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden stories, mistakes, rarities, and surprising values behind American coins, subscribe and stay with us, because the next ordinary-looking coin in your pocket might have a detail you have been overlooking for years.